Hey everybody, welcome back to Talking Pro Football. It's Michael Carlyle. We will look back at Week 18 in the National Football League. We will get you ready for the playoffs that start this weekend. What a crazy Week 18 in the National Football League it was. 3 teams winning in overtime to make the playoffs. The last time multiple teams won in overtime in the final week of the season was 1993. It was also the first time in NFL history that the final playoff berth was not decided until there was no time left in overtime in the very last game of the regular season. We had a lot of intrigue, a lot of excitement, and almost an NFL doomsday scenario. So let's jump right in and get to it. We'll start with the Saturday games. We'll start in Denver. The Chiefs were visiting the Broncos, and nearly stumbling into the playoffs, Nick Bolton and Kansas City gathered themselves just in time. They pull out a win, headed into the postseason. Chiefs rally for the 28-24 win Saturday over the Broncos, powered by Bolton's 86-yard fumble return midway through the fourth quarter. Broncos were ahead 21-20. They were driving for another score when Melvin Ingram blitzed, speeding past tight end Noah Fant. He went untouched. He blew up the play just as Drew Lock handed the ball off to Melvin Gordon on second down and 2 from the 9. Bolton picks it up. He rambles down the sidelines. He almost falls down at midfield. He regains his balance and races to the end zone. Chiefs get the win. They finish the regular season 12-5. Broncos, they finished their year 7-10. The other game on Saturday, Cowboys at Eagles. Dak Prescott threw for a career-high 5 touchdown passes against the Eagles' backups. Cedric Wilson and Dalton Schultz each had 2 scoring catches. Cowboys roll past the Eagles 51-26. Cowboys still had seeding to play for in that game. The Eagles, meanwhile, were resting Jalen Hurts and other key starters ahead of the wild card. Both teams head into the postseason. Dallas wraps up the regular season 12-5. Eagles are 9-8. The Sunday games will start in Cleveland. The Bengals were visiting the Browns. Nothing on the line in this one. The Bengals already had their playoff spot wrapped up. Browns were already looking ahead for next season. Case Keenum got his second win while filling in for Baker Mayfield on Sunday as the Browns end their disappointing season with a 21-16 win over Cincinnati. Again, the Bengals left Joe Burrow at home. They played their backups ahead of next week's first-round game. Browns finished the year 8-9. Bengals headed into the postseason at 10-7. The Packers were on the road. They were at the Lions. Aaron Rodgers got off the field unscathed, and that was a win for the Packers, even if they didn't win on the scoreboard. Rodgers threw a pair of touchdown passes in the first half. He sat out the second half with nothing at stake. Lions beat the Packers 37-20. Lions end their year 3-13-1, while the NFC North champion Packers are 13-4. They get the first-round bye as the top seed in the NFC. Bears were at the Vikings, a division matchup, but nothing much else on the line here. Kirk Cousins throws for 172 yards, 3 touchdowns in the second half to lead the Vikings to a comeback win over the Bears, 31-17. Both Bears coach Matt Nagy and Vikings coach Mike Zimmer may be looking for work by the time you hear this. Disappointing year for both these teams. Vikings in the year 8-9. The Bears finish up 6-11. Another game with no playoff implications. Washington on the road at the Giants. Antonio Gibson runs for a career-high 146 yards. He scored a touchdown and capped his first 1,000-yard rushing season by leading Washington to the 22-7 win over New York on Sunday. Could be Dave Gettleman's final game as Giants GM. Joe Judge's final game as head coach. We'll have to see how that plays out. Washington's season comes to an end at 7-10. Giants wrap up 4-13. The Colts were at the Jaguars. Colts just need a win to solidify a playoff spot. They're playing the lowly Jaguars. No other way to say it. The Indianapolis Colts got clowned in Jacksonville. And if you watch that game, you get the reference. A lot of guys dressed as clowns in the stands in Jacksonville. This was incredibly embarrassing. Indy botched a chance to secure AFC wildcard spot. They lose 26-11 to Jacksonville. The clown game. 7th consecutive road loss, by the way, for the Colts to the Jaguars. Jaguars got a much-needed celebration that ended an 8-game losing streak, and they managed to still lock up the number 1 overall pick for a second straight season. They finish up 3-14 for the Colts. NFL rushing champ Jonathan Taylor was held to 77 yards. Carson Wentz was sacked 6 times. He turned the ball over twice. That led to 10 points for the Jaguars. Colts finish up 9-8. They will spend the postseason at home watching it on TV. Steelers were at the Ravens. Both teams came into this game with slim playoff hopes still alive. And calm as he could be on what could have been his final pass, Ben Roethlisberger was right on target. He hit Ray McLeod over the middle on fourth down. That set up Pittsburgh for the game-winning field goal in overtime. They beat the Ravens 16-13, and in doing so, they extend their season by at least a week. They head into the playoffs 9-7-1. At 8-9, the Ravens head into the offseason. Titans were on the road at the Texans. Tennessee just needed a win at Texas to get the AFC's top spot. And with that on the line, Ryan Tannehill orchestrates an 8-play, 85-yard drive, capped by his fourth touchdown pass of the day. Titans beat the Texans 28-25. They do clinch that top spot in the AFC for the first time in 14 years. They get the bye. Not only does Tennessee get the top spot in the AFC in the bye, but they'll also get stud running back Derrick Henry back in time for the playoffs. They are 12-5. The Texans season ends at 4-13, which in all honesty is better than I thought they'd be this year. Still not good, but whatever. All right, 2 for the price of 1. Saints at Falcons, 49ers at Rams. And we're doing these together because these games were interlocked. Trevor Siemian and the Saints saw their playoff hopes end not on the field, but in the locker room. After doing what they needed to do, beating the Falcons 30-20, the Saints rush off the field to watch the final minutes of the 49ers' 27-24 overtime win over the Rams. Saints needed the Rams to win that one in order to make the playoffs. New Orleans finishes short of a wild card spot and a 5th consecutive playoff berth. Their season ends at 9-8. The Falcons finish at 7-10. Meanwhile, more on the Niners-Rams. After falling behind 17-0, the 49ers clinch a postseason berth with a 27-24 overtime win over the NFC West champion Rams, thanks to Robbie Gould's 24-yard field goal with 2:45 left in overtime and a game-ending interception by rookie Aubrey Thomas. Niners headed into the postseason at 10-7. The Rams are 12-5. Jets were at the Bills. Devin Singletary sparked a sputtering offense. He scored twice in the final 8:21. The defense limited the Jets to a franchise-low 53 yards of total offense, and Cam Lewis even blocked a punt in Buffalo's 27-10 win. Bills clinched the AFC East at 11-6. The Jets end another disappointing season at 4-13. Patriots were on the road at the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle had a touchdown grab. He set an NFL record for receptions by a rookie. Tua Tagovailoa used his legs and not his arm to get a critical first down in the final moments. Dolphins get the win by beating New England 33-24. That ends their season, but despite missing the playoffs, the Dolphins end the year at 9-8, winning 8 of their last 9 after starting 1-7. Patriots are headed into the postseason at 10-7. Seahawks were on the road. They were at the Cardinals. The Cardinals, with the win and a Rams loss, could have won the NFC West. We know the Rams lost. Cardinals, though, couldn't capitalize. Russell Wilson throws 3 touchdown passes. Rashad Penny runs for 190 yards and a touchdown. Seahawks spoil that shot at an NFC West title for the Cardinals as Seattle gets the win 38-30. Their season comes to an end at 7-10. The Cardinals head into the playoffs at 11-6, but they've lost 4 of their last 5. Panthers were on the road. They were in Tampa Bay, and the Buccaneers rout the Panthers 41-17. They set a franchise record for regular season victories, and the win, coupled with the Rams losing to the 49ers, also gives Tampa the number 2 spot in the NFC playoffs. Tom Brady completed 29 of 37 passes, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns before taking the last half of the fourth quarter off. He finished with a career-best 5,316 passing yards and a Tampa Bay single-season record 43 touchdown passes. They head into the postseason 13-4. The Panthers' dismal season, it comes to an end at 5-12. All right, the Sunday night game, it all came down to this. You win, you're in. You lose, you go home. Or you tie, and you're both in. We almost got the tie. Almost. Daniel Carlson's 47-yard field goal as time expired got the Raiders past the Chargers 35-32. It's their first playoff berth since 2016, and they eliminate their AFC West rivals in the process. Vegas survived Los Angeles' late-game comeback built around a series of fourth-down conversions to force overtime. The Chargers in the second half and overtime 6 fourth down conversions. The Raiders win their 4th straight game, completing an incredible late season run after losing 5 of 6 before that. They go into the playoffs at 10-7. Chargers go home 9-8. All right, let's take a look at the playoff picture now. Everything is set. We'll start in the AFC. The Titans, they get the number 1 seed. They get the bye. They finish the year 12-5. Kansas City will be your number 2 seed. They finish 12-5 as well. Buffalo, the 3 seed at 11-6. Cincinnati, your 4 seed at 10-7. And then your 3 wild cards. The Raiders get the 5th seed. The Patriots, the 6th seed. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they get the 7th and final playoff spot in the AFC at 9-7-1. Over in the NFC, the Packers, they get the top spot. They finish the year 13-4. They'll have a first round bye. Tampa, like we mentioned, they get the 2nd seed. They also finish 13-4. Cowboys are your 3 seed. They finish 12-5. The Rams at 12-5 get the 4 seed. Your 3 wild card teams. The Cardinals, 11-6, they're the 5 seed. The 49ers at 10-7 are your 6 seed. And the Eagles, your 7th seed at 9-8. So this weekend, the wild card round looks like this. There'll be a pair of games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then a Monday night game. Your Saturday games, it'll start in Cincinnati, 4:30 Eastern time on Saturday. The Raiders are at the Bengals. That'll be followed by the Bills at the Patriots. Then on Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Eagles at the Bucks, followed by the 49ers at the Cowboys. The Sunday night game will be the Steelers at the Chiefs. And then we'll wrap up the first round of the playoffs on Monday, 6:15 Eastern time kickoff for the Cardinals and the Rams. All right, let's look at some news and notes coming out of Week 18 as we get ready to head into the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. And right off the bat, a quick tip of the hat to the Las Vegas Raiders. Say what you want about the Raiders, and they're one of those teams you either love the Raiders or you hate them. There's not a lot of in between there, not a lot of middle ground with the Raiders. But a quick tip of the hat to them. Think about what they've been through this season to get to the playoffs. They had the whole John Gruden email leak. That led to his firing. You had Henry Ruggs' fatal crash. That led to his dismissal from the team. Damon Arnett's gun video. That led to his dismissal from the team. They go through a stretch where they lose 5 out of 6. Darren Waller missed a big chunk of the season. Kenyon Drake missed a big chunk of the season. You had Nate Hobbs' DUI arrest before Week 18. Yet they still find a way to hold it together and get into the playoffs. I'd written them off a couple of times this season. Kudos to them for being able to hang on and get a playoff spot. Now we'll see how they take advantage of that if they're able to, starting in the wild card round. The Dallas Cowboys on Saturday set a record. They had their 22nd different player score a touchdown this season. They also became the first team in NFL history with a 4,000-yard passing quarterback, a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver, a 10-sack defender, and a 10-interception defender as well. Matthew Stafford set a new Rams single-season record for passing yards. He passed Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, who set the previous high in his 2001 MVP season. Rob Gronkowski on Sunday had his 32nd career game with 100 receiving yards. That breaks a tie with Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez for the most such games by a tight end in NFL history. Mike Evans completed another 1,000-yard receiving season. He's done it all 8 years of his NFL career. That's the longest such streak to start a career in NFL history. Only Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and Tim Brown had longer such stretches at any point in their careers. With 2 touchdown passes on Sunday, Russell Wilson passed Hall of Famer Dan Marino for the second most TDs in a player's first 10 seasons in NFL history. Only Hall of Famer Peyton Manning had more. Ben Roethlisberger completed his 57th game-winning drive in Week 18's overtime win over the Ravens. That broke a tie with Peyton Manning and Drew Brees for the second most in the Super Bowl era. Roethlisberger now trails only Tom Brady, who has 67 career game-winning drives. With his 3rd reception on the opening drive, the Dolphins' Jalen Waddle hit 102 catches on the season. That breaks Anquan Bolden's NFL rookie record of 101 set in 2003. Waddle finishes the season with 104 catches. The Steelers' TJ Watt tied Michael Strahan's single-season record of 22 and a half sacks. And for those who were saying, well, yeah, the NFL added a game this year. Yeah, keep in mind, though, TJ Watt only played in 15 games this season.